suddenly hit you guys. I was thinking about it. I've suddenly hit you guys with a collection of fragrances. And I'm pretty sure y'all can see my collection of wax melts, my collection of hot sauces. I have a collection of deodorants and shampoos and all that other stuff too. But specifically, I want to explain fragrances today. Why you're seeing this is something I've obviously been up to for a while. But I want to explain why, I guess. So typically, within the first 10 seconds of meeting people, people have already made their mind up about you. I've been told that about me, and I know that about people. Within the first couple of seconds of meeting people, people have already made their mind up, or they've gotten their first impression, whether it be your body language, like mine typically is laid back, arms open. I'm open. I'm I'm receiving what you're saying. I'm laid back. I don't think I'm a very high pressure person, and I like to keep a calm, relaxing environment. But one of the reasons why I do this, why fragrances is a thing that's important to me, is number one, because there was a point in time where I didn't take personal hygiene seriously, and it got in the way of friendships, and it got in the way of relationships, and I noticed that it made people make a decision about me. Now, granted, I would never not shower and stuff, but what I mean by not take it seriously is not think about everything that has to do with it. Not think about, uh, like, I would take a shower, but like not think about maybe using a better soap that might clean me better and stuff like that. Which I have a lot of that stuff too. But the interest in fragrances is this. Um, I have a bunch of them laid out over here, and I will explain the reasons behind them. Most people would look at my fragrance collection, and it's even bigger than you think. It's much bigger than you think. It's not just this shelf here. It's an entire half of a closet over there. But I alternate. I move through stuff. Now, for starters, I gotta say I did a bad review on this today, and I actually gotta take that back. I do think this is authentic, and once you let the scent develop, it actually turns into something quite pleasant. So, um, and I've sort of classified that in the group of fragrances that it's in. And keep in mind, I think there's more that you haven't seen yet. You'll see. This is just the stuff I'm going to be reviewing over the next couple of days. Decided to put that up. So, for instance, you're out with friends, right? Or like you're just having a night out on the town. Maybe you're just kind of going on a walk, or doing something calming, reserved, not a lot of people around you. There's scents like cool water, which I have a cool water up there review too. There's, for like a night where or a day where you're just relaxed and chilling and not really doing anything. Or, there's the Calvin Klein Eternity by EAD, not by actual Calvin Klein. Or, by the way, I went and got a real sample of this, so I actually have the real one coming. Gladiator by Belcam House, which is an Invictus clone. You got a sample of the real Invictus. Maybe you're chilling, and these are all good for like if you have a wife or girlfriend, and maybe it's just you two. You guys are just hanging out. You're not really doing anything special. An awkward du jour. you know. Or my favorite, the star of the show, Zara Wanted by Night's coming. Oh, I have Wanted by Night. I'm just waiting for the two other clones of these. I'm getting off on a sidetrack here. Um, Zara Wanted. Those are like my mainly just chill fragrances, where it's a night out on the town, but like you're in a calm environment, not in a club or anything. Maybe you're at a bistro, at a Starbucks, at a, whatever, and it's a cool, fall or spring night, and you're wearing something easygoing. Just maybe you're at a classy place. You got a wife, girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever. You're at a classy place. And although I don't really like the scent of this, it adds a little bit of leather to something that you may want to layer it with. So bourbon and vanilla. Maybe you're at a 5-star restaurant, you're in a suit and tie, and you want to smell a little classy. You know what I mean? Essentially, my point, before I get into the next category of fragrances that are my favorites. These are my absolute favorites, except for the Amen. I haven't. It got better over time, but I don't know how I feel about it. But like right now, in my wax diffuser for those little wax cubes, I have orange buttercream. It's a relaxing scent to me. It makes me feel good. The scent, the smell kind of brings me to a good place in mind. It's a lava lamp. I got a lava lamp here. Sometimes I turn the lights down when I'm not making a video. And it helps set a relaxing environment. And smell has a lot to do with that. Sometimes, even with these colognes, this is a $20 bottle of cologne. I'll just put it on while I'm at home. Ain't nobody gonna smell me. I'm at home by myself. Or, whatever. But it allows me, the olfactory senses, they bring me to a peaceful place, man. They bring me to a state of relaxation. And so not only do I wear these to help others' opinion of me be better, but I wear these because they help me. Because they help me relax myself, Sometimes I'm just kind of chilling here and I'm like, you know what? I want a little bit of bourbon vanilla smell. Boom. And it brings me to a better place, It makes me happy to smell good. It makes me happy to have the orange buttercream in there. The smell relaxes me. You know what I'm saying? And maybe, just maybe, you are out at the club, or maybe maybe you're trying to wear something that is a little bit more sensual for your significant other, something that's going to require, and I have an incense burning too, African musk, because I also like the smell of musk. But maybe you're out with your significant other, and these are not female scents, by the way. So when I say significant other, I'm talking to the men out there. I do have some fragrances that are unisex, and I'm not gonna lie, I have some fragrances that are a little feminine that I add to other stuff, just to add maybe I want to smell like leather and cherries, or dark cherries or something, sort of a smoky dark cherry. I mix and match fragrances too. But maybe you want to have something a little bit more like you're out with men, you are out with your significant other, whether that be a woman or another man, who cares, I'm not going to judge you, and you want to have something that's going to pull them in a little closer. This, although I wouldn't recommend going on a date with your significant other wearing some dollar store cologne, but like maybe you guys are just sitting at the park or something, and it's not a complete like romantic situation, but it's something where the two of you are just kind of spending quality time. Then maybe this is a little bit better for that. Still wouldn't do it, but maybe. Maybe you're out at the club. Some Hugo by Hugo Boss, or there's some Nitro by Bellcam House, which obviously is a clone of Hugo Boss. You know what I mean? Maybe you're doing that. Sorry, gotta move these. I legit, with this next fragrance, had a female fall asleep on me. She looked right up at me. She was like, "You smell really good." Took a deep breath, relaxed herself, and fell asleep. Jaguar, classic amber. It's got ambroxan in it, so it helps project it a little bit. This is pretty citrusy and leathery. I don't think this one, specific one, has any tobacco in it. Don't know. It gives you that kind of like a manly scent. And a lot of women find that to be relaxing, you know, protective, something like that. You know what I mean? Like, first off, for a female to like fall asleep next to you or in your arms, it's a different like psychology for them. Obviously, men and women don't think the same. We think more logically, they think more emotionally. Both have their benefits and their drawbacks, but that means that they feel safe. You know what I mean? And that's an important thing. And scent sometimes can help with that. Maybe you kind of have more, I don't know, manly or aggressive cologne, something like this. And it sort of makes them think back to like other important men in their life or something, like maybe their dad or something. Bad reference, but you get where I'm going with this. And it helps them make their mind up that they feel safe. We're human beings. Every one of you guys knows, and I'm telling the truth, that certain scents elicit emotions. Okay? They do. If you had, like, I remember sort of, you know, what my grandmother's house used to smell like, and today I smelled something that reminded me of her, the one who just passed, and you know, I thought about it. I don't really want to get into that because I just don't want to get into that, but you know, scents, they elicit memories, thoughts. And this is an artwork that people spend years learning how to do, learning how to create a scent that's going to elicit responses from other human beings. Specifically, the person that I tell you about that works at the place that I go to twice a week has complimented this, has complimented this, and has complimented this. Okay? It's obviously me and her have the same scent profile. We like the same scents. Aquadigio, on the other hand, has gotten me some sort of negative. It's gotten me some negative responses, and I'll tell you why. Because Aquadigio is your basic fuckboy scent that, you know, everybody who wants to be a player is wearing Aquadigio. I'm serious. So if you wear this, and you're more than likely going to remind her of an ex-boyfriend. So Aquadigio is not, you know, I get it, it's the most popular, you know, selling men's fragrance in the history of men's fragrances. And that beat Cool Water, and Cool Water still sells a lot. People clown on Cool Water a lot, so but I actually like it. But so you gotta be careful with ones like this. Once they start getting into that category, you kind of gotta be a little bit careful about about them. But Wanted by Night, Jaguar Classic Amber, these are still scents that are fairly new. Um, Playboy, this one, it's a chocolate run. These are all scents that the last group will pull people into you because they're gonna catch a whiff of something, you know. And I have some more over there that you guys should see more this week. The shelf is gonna change this week, trust me. You're gonna see a lot more of the stuff, a lot less of the dollar store stuff and the cheap stuff. Okay. There's a couple good ones out there, but mostly cheapies. And those are just ones I throw in every day. But the ones I put thought into, but this isn't an everyday wear one. Y'all saw my video before. And something like this, you know, even I caught myself doing it. As this started to develop, I started going, all right, that's interesting. And that's what you want from stuff like this. Scents that draw people in. So you have like your party scents and your club scents and your expensive dinners. The Cremo is real good for like places where you're dressed up at. It's bourbon and vanilla. I mean, come on. What else does this say class besides? I mean, I have a Zara Wanted by Night that has tobacco in it. And I have the Wanted by Night clone, which is supposed to be the exact same. I got this one and another one, both coming in now. Those are like $10 each. And if I can switch from a Zara to them, I will, because that's $40. And if they're the same as a Zara and they're $10, you can bet I'm switching. But you know, the night one has tobacco and chocolate and stuff like that. And the daytime one is a little bit more vibrant. And these both have chocolate, and this one has a rum scent to it. And it does have one. It's just this you have to overspray. And this is a chocolate one. So this is sort of like what Axe does with the Dark Temptation, which I also have that cologne. But that cologne is in the mail on the way here. It's coming from Greece, so it will not be here for a while. But we're getting into the colder seasons, and I kind of had to restock on some of my colder weather stuff. And that's another thing. So you like the certain scents and the certain scent profiles elicit responses because of time of year. So when I start getting more into my alcohol flavors, or the alcohol scents, and the chocolates and the darker the tobaccos and stuff, typically I make that switch around Christmas time. Christmas time elicits more responses, like a emotional response, a lighter heartedness. You guys see every year, man, I make a video on or before Christmas, like, because to me, like, my favorite holiday is Christmas, and I don't care, I don't want gifts, it doesn't matter to me. I do want snow. I do want snow, but I can't control that. But Christmas is an important holiday to me because growing up, that was always the family holiday. That was, we might not have always gotten together for Thanksgiving. Nobody gets, I mean, Easter maybe we would get together, maybe. But every year, at least on Christmas, we would get together. And so that elicits, you know, when I switch to my darker scents, I do it around Christmas time. That makes me go, oh, Christmas is around the corner. Oh, family time. You know? And it elicits an emotional response. So that's why I collect fragrances, because it helps take me to a better place. You know what I mean? It helps make me just think happier thoughts, and it helps elicit, you know, more positive emotions.
That's just how. Other people do it for different reasons. That is my reason. If you look on YouTube, there's top 5, top 10 reasons. That's my reason. That's my 2 reasons, actually. The emotional responses to the scents and to the time of years that those scents remind me of. And to, help with first impressions. That's why I do what I do. Sometimes I just kind of sit here and I'll just sniff the fragrances. Like I enjoy them. They, and I tie them in together with other things. So like if I'm wearing an aquatic like Aphrodisia, I'm probably wearing the body spray or something like that. Or I haven't reviewed it yet, but if I'm wearing a Zara Wanted, I might have bought Most Wanted because these two smell a lot alike. They're different, but they're similar. And so I walk down the street smelling like coffee and rum or bourbon and vanilla. I might walk down the street smelling like lemon, ginger, cardamom, and cherries. It all, it's an artwork. You put it together. What I smell like for the day is the masterpiece that I put together. I chose the fragrances. I chose the stuff that, added to the scent for the day. And people might think that's weird. To be honest with you, I don't care. I wouldn't be on YouTube if I cared what people thought. I'm on YouTube to share my personal life, to share my hobbies, and this just so happens to be one of them. That's why I do what I do. That's why I collect fragrances. That's why I have fun. This is a part of my life that ideally I know I'll probably never use all these. I know I probably never will. Yet every week I add 1 or 2 to the collection. Sometimes they're as cheap as, a $2.50, Family Dollar clone of Cool Water. Sometimes they're a $20 bottle of Walmart at Walmart. Sometimes they're a $40 bottle. Sometimes it's an $80 bottle. Most of the time it's the dollar store, the Bod body sprays, stuff like that, because it's just a hobby. It can get expensive. It can get much more expensive than this, but I try to keep a limit on it. Dollar store, 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 dollar store. And things like these, these are the average everyday ones. I know y'all remember this, Drakkar Noir. Come on now. Who my age doesn't remember Drakkar? Right, that's about as classic as Old Spice, except for it's not as old. Anyway, that's why I do what I do. Peace.